26 years. A quarter of a century. An entire generation of Filipino tennis fans waited for one defining moment. On December 18, 2025, at the National Tennis Development Center in Nonthaburi, Thailand, that moment finally arrived. Alexandra Eala didn't simply win a match or collect a medal. She shattered a long-standing drought and rewrote Philippine sports history with her own hands. At just 20 years old, the Filipino tennis sensation stood on the brink of something far greater than personal glory. She was carrying the weight of a nation that had not seen a Filipina claim SEA Games women's singles gold since 1999. That year, Maricruz Fernandez stood atop the podium in Brunei. Before her, the trail went all the way back to 1981, when Piao triumphed at the Manila Games. Since then, the Philippines had been locked out, watching Indonesia and Thailand dominate the event with a combined 11 titles. For more than 2 decades, Filipino tennis waited. On that Thursday morning in Thailand, the wait ended. Eala entered the final as the highest-ranked WTA player in Southeast Asia, sitting at world number 53. Across the net was Thailand's Manangkaya Sawangko, ranked 240th in the world and fueled by a roaring home crowd eager to witness their own champion. On paper, the difference was obvious, but tennis is never played on paper. It is played under pressure, where momentum shifts, nerves are exposed, and rankings mean nothing once the ball is in play. There was also unfinished business between the two players. Less than a year earlier, at the ITF Takasaki tournament in Japan, Sawangko had defeated Eala. That loss lingered quietly in the background, turning this final into more than just a fight for gold. It was about redemption. From the opening serve, Eala sent a clear message. She came out aggressive, fearless, and composed, racing to a 3-0 lead in the first set. Her ground strokes were heavy and precise, pinning Sawangko deep behind the baseline. She moved effortlessly around the court, stepping inside rallies and finishing points at the net with confidence. The Thai player finally broke through in the fourth game, drawing a loud eruption from the home crowd, but it proved to be nothing more than a brief interruption. Eala immediately reasserted control, winning the next 3 games in commanding fashion to take the opening set 6-1. In the stands, Filipino supporters erupted, sensing that history was suddenly within reach. One set away from ending a 26-year drought. The second set, however, would not come easily. Eala opened by blanking Sawangko in the first game, but the tone soon shifted. In the second game, the Thai player found her rhythm, holding serve to level the set at 1-1. Then the match took a controversial turn. In the third game, a series of questionable line calls disrupted the flow of play. Not once, not twice, but 3 calls were so clearly incorrect that the chair umpire was forced to overrule them. Each interruption broke Eala's rhythm and tested her composure. Her frustration was visible, yet she remained controlled. With the score tied at 1-1, Eala made a rare and courageous move. She formally requested that the linesperson be replaced. The request was denied, but the message was unmistakable. She would not be intimidated, and she would not stay silent. She was fighting not only her opponent, but also the conditions of the match. As if the officiating controversy wasn't enough, an unusually long break followed the first set, seemingly designed to disrupt momentum and give Sawangko time to regroup. When play resumed, the Thai player took advantage, leveling the second set at 2-2. The crowd grew louder. Belief surged through the stadium. For the first time, doubt hung in the air. This was the defining moment. The point where pressure either crushes a player or reveals a champion. With the weight of 26 years pressing down on her shoulders, Eala refused to fold. She dug deep into the mental toughness forged throughout her breakthrough 2025 season. She raised her intensity, chased down every ball, and turned defense into offense. She claimed the 5th game after a gritty battle, pushing ahead 3-2. Then she tightened her grip even further, extending the lead to 4-2 and then 5-2. She was now 1 game away from immortality. Serving for the championship, Eala faced her final test. Sawangko fought desperately, pushing the game through multiple deuces as the crowd tried to will a comeback into existence. Every point felt heavier than the last. Every rally carried the weight of history. Then, at match point, it happened. Sawangko's forehand sailed long. The ball landed out. The match was over. Alexandra Eala covered her face with her hands as emotion rushed in. The Philippines had its gold medal. A 26-year drought was finally over, and a new era of Philippine tennis had officially begun. The moment the final ball landed out, Alexandra Eala stood frozen in disbelief. Then the emotion poured out. She covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed by what she had just accomplished. This victory was more than a personal milestone. It delivered the Philippines its 39th gold medal at the 33rd SEA Games and marked only the third time in history that a Filipina had won the women's singles tennis title at the regional games. According to Olympics.com, the drought she ended had lasted longer than Eala herself had been alive. On that court in Thailand, history wasn't just remembered. It was rewritten. In her immediate post-match interview, Eala struggled to put the moment into words. She described feeling over the moon, explaining that bringing this level of pride to her country was something she had only ever dreamed about. The tears flowed freely when she embraced her parents courtside. One of the most touching moments followed when Eala placed the gold medal around her mother's neck. Her mother, Riza Maniagoila, was herself a former athlete, having won a SEA Games bronze medal in swimming nearly 4 decades earlier. In that instant, 2 generations of Filipino athletes were united by the same flag, the same colors, and the same unbreakable competitive spirit. What made the gold medal even more remarkable was the context of Eala's extraordinary 2025 season. This was not a fluke run or a lucky week. This was the year Alexandra Eala announced herself to the tennis world. She began the season ranked outside the top 140, quietly grinding her way through tournaments. By November, she had cracked the top 50 for the first time, reaching a career-high ranking of world number 50 and becoming the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history. Each milestone came faster than the last, as if momentum itself was pushing her forward. Her breakthrough moments arrived on the sport's biggest stages. At the Miami Open, Eala stunned the tennis world by defeating 3 Grand Slam champions, proving she could compete with the very best. In the same season, she made her Grand Slam main draw debut at the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. At Flushing Meadows, she etched her name into history once again by becoming the first Filipino in the Open era to win a main draw match at any Grand Slam, defeating Denmark's Clara Tauson, who was ranked world number 15 at the time. The run cemented her reputation as a rising force in women's tennis. Later in the year, Eala captured her first WTA Tour title in Guadalajara, Mexico, a defining moment that confirmed her arrival on the global circuit. Nearly 354 days after beginning her 2025 campaign in qualifying rounds far from the spotlight, her season finally came to an end on that court in Thailand. There was no better way to close the chapter than with a gold medal that carried the weight of an entire nation. Her road to SEA Games gold had been methodical and dominant. As the top seed, Eala received a first-round bye before facing Malaysia's Shirhan Leong in the quarterfinals. She dispatched her opponent 6-3, 6-2, guaranteeing herself at least a bronze medal. In the semifinals, she faced another Thai opponent, Thasapor Naklo, a former Iowa State Cyclones player who had pulled off an upset in earlier rounds. Played on December 16th, the semifinal became a statement performance. Eala overwhelmed Naklo, winning 6-1, 6-4 and becoming the first Filipino to reach the SEA Games women's singles final since Clarice Patrimonio claimed silver at the 2017 Kuala Lumpur Games. This time, Eala wasn't interested in silver. She wanted gold. The SEA Games carried special meaning for her. Earlier in the competition, Eala had served as one of the Philippines' co-flag bearers at the opening ceremony, an honor she described as surreal. She also competed in the mixed doubles event alongside Francis Casey Alcantara, earning a bronze medal after falling short of the final. It marked their second consecutive SEA Games bronze as a pair. Eala also collected another bronze as part of the Philippine women's team, bringing her total medal haul in Thailand to 3. Still, the singles gold was the prize that mattered most, the one that had eluded her at the 2022 Vietnam Games. Beyond personal achievement, Eala's victory carried historic significance for Philippine tennis. It marked the country's 8th overall SEA Games singles title across men's and women's competition and shattered a long-standing duopoly dominated by Indonesia and Thailand. For more than 2 decades, the Philippines had been shut out of the top spot. With one dominant performance under intense pressure, Alexandra Eala restored her nation to regional tennis prominence. Despite the controversy, the hostile crowd, and the immense pressure, Eala remained composed in victory. She acknowledged the challenges but chose to focus on the positives, calling the gold medal a perfect way to close her season. When asked about her immediate plans, she laughed, admitting she needed rest after jumping straight from pre-season into competition. It was all worth it. Because now, when young Filipino players pick up a racket and dream, they have proof that the impossible is possible. Alexandra Eala is only 20 years old, and she has already changed history. And this new era of Philippine tennis is only just beginning.